Welcome to Brother, Sister, Whatever, where real talk meets zero chill. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Josh. Subscribe so you don't miss the chaos, and let's dive in.
All right. Hobbies.
Hobbies. Oh, boy.
What's a recent hobby that you've...
A recent hobby?
Yeah.
Oh, I just started collecting Dragon Ball Z cards.
Okay.
And my son is doing One Piece. So we're kind of collecting together.
What's One Piece?
One Piece, it's a anime there,
Oh, it's a... Okay.
the pirates there. I'm sure your kids have watched it.
I don't know.
There's even a real show of it on Netflix now.
Really?
One Piece. It's really good. I actually watched the show.
Okay.
So
I'll have to check it out.
Jet is obsessed. The anime, there's like 700 episodes or something. He's on like 576.
Jeez.
So
How long are they? How long are the episodes like?
probably 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's dedication.
Yeah, he loves it. So
Okay, cool. For me, it's what's one of the hobbies I've been doing? Oh, you know what I've been doing lately with the kids?
what?
Drawing,
Oh, no way.
like art.
Wow.
I used to take art in high school and like drawing and stuff like that, and I really, I don't know, it's kind of peaceful and like nice. And I wanted to also do something with the kids, kind of like make it a twofer, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. We found like this Art for Kids hub on YouTube channel,
Oh, cool.
and been doing different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun. I like
Yeah.
it.
Speaking of art there, my kids there, they go with their mom to the ceramic cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the time. They bring cups and all sorts of stuff
They
that
bring their own
make.
stuff. I wonder if
No,
you can.
they
Oh, sorry, you bring home.
they bring home
I just
stuff.
got what you were saying. Yes. Sorry. I was like, oh, you could bring your own cups, because that would definitely save money. It's so
Yeah.
expensive. My
Is
God.
it? I don't know how much
It's
it
like
is.
I don't think I've spent less than $100,
Oh my God.
because it's not just you're buying the ceramic, but then you're also buying your time there, right? And like the paints and all of that still. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
During the pandemic, they had a like a do-it-yourself at home kit that
Oh,
you could
no
buy,
way. Oh,
and
so
they
it's
would.
been around for a while.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I didn't even know about it until very
Recently?
recent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So hobbies, they aren't just like time fillers. They're how we explore creativity, unwind, and sometimes even find our communities. Today, we're going to dig into the value of hobbies, why we pick them, and how they shape our identities.
Love it.
So,
This is a fun one.
yeah. How would you define a hobby?
Something I like to do.
Okay, so enjoyment.
Yeah.
Do you think skill has anything to do with it?
Yeah.
But do you think you have to have skill in order to have a hobby?
No.
Or enjoy a hobby?
I think that's also part of it. Like you build the skills of the hobby you're into.
Right.
You get better at it,
Yeah.
you know?
What
So,
if you don't?
well, then you suck. I mean,
But you can still enjoy it.
yeah, you can still, I mean, how many times do we hear stuff like that? I mean, I suck at it, but, I love doing it.
Yeah. Or like I mentioned the other day, the last episode or something, I think it was like knitting. I just want to knit and I can't seem
Yeah.
to fucking get it. That'll probably be, if I stick with that, that'll probably be a hobby that's going to take me a while to get a skill at, that's for sure.
Plus, it takes forever just to do like the blankets and stuff.
I know. I was just aiming for like a little handkerchief or something.
Yeah. Fallon got one made from her mom, and it took a year.
Wow.
But it's nice. It's a nice big blanket.
She knows how to knit?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm jealous.
yeah. But I mean, she just kind of started, right? And now she's really good at it.
Yeah.
Because she's been doing it for the whole year. And now she just started Jet's blanket. So
Nice. That's kind of nice. So let's start with our weekly what if. What if you could only keep one hobby for the rest of your life? What would it be and why?
does fitness, working out, is that a hobby? Or is that like, because I feel like it's a necessity, but I also feel like it's hobby, but I also feel like sometimes it's a pain in the ass. So, like, what do you define?
Okay, so maybe it's different for everybody, but let's say I think that going to the gym would not be a hobby.
Would not be a
But
hobby? Okay.
um what is it that you do or that you're interested in there where it's like bodybuilding?
Mm-hmm.
Bodybuilding could be a hobby.
Okay. But that involves going to the gym.
I don't know. I feel like going to the gym is a pretty. Can you think of another hobby?
Well, because this is what I'm saying. Like, if you're telling me, the weekly what if is, if you can only pick one hobby,
Yeah.
if working out is in that category, then obviously I'm going to pick that because I need to do it. But if you told me,
But that's the thing. There. That's the word. Need to do it.
yeah, I need to do it.
Okay. So it's not a need.
Okay.
It's a want. It's a desire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, then I would probably say the only other hobby
Yeah.
that I really have is a little bit of gaming here and there.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, the new hobby I just
Yeah.
got into.
Right.
But
But
like,
you wouldn't want to like if you could only pick one hobby for the rest of your life. You probably wouldn't want to collect
I think it would
Dragon
be a
Ball
little
Z.
bit more entertainment wise,
Okay.
like the games and PS5 or
Yeah.
like the computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So gaming for you.
Mm.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And if I could only pick one hobby,
Hmm.
I'm going to stick with my art. I actually kind of really like it.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with or without the kids.
Okay.
I would stick with that.
Love it.
Drawing specifically. Yeah. Um do you think that like the social aspect is important with a hobby?
Yes and no. I mean, I guess it depends on the hobby.
Right.
Um, in senses of me gaming,
Right.
it can go it can go from the left to the right because there are plenty of games where it's just solo,
Yep.
just you, that's it, that's all. And then you have games that like must be with other people.
Right. Like the online community games and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So you
Like
can have the best of both worlds with that.
you can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about that hobby.
Right.
And I mean, technically, most hobbies can
Go either way.
go
Even
either way.
even reading books as hobbies.
Yeah,
You'd have a book club.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Same. Like so for me, it would for with the art or drawing, it would be like participating in an art class.
Yeah,
Would be the community or
or
social
even
aspect of it.
just a community of like posting your art,
Right.
and then people like, oh wow, I
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. So let's break down the different aspects of hobbies.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the creative expression, there's the skill building, the social connection, and then the mental health benefits. So all of those things. Okay. Let's start with creative expression. How can they help us tap into creativity? Do you want to stick with your gaming or do you want to do a more broad?
It'll depend on the category.
Okay. So creative, if I were to stick with art or drawing, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, it is creativity.
It is creativity, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can draw endless amount of things
Yeah.
that exist or don't exist. You can make up your own. It could be abstract. It could be so. There's tons of creativity in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Creativity in the games, I think, is more on the style of games that you kind of get into.
Yeah.
There's creativity in the sense that, if you get really good at that hobby, you could even be like a coach or you can help other people. And so there's a lot of ways that I think creativity can come out of it. You could even create a business out of it. in the sense of gaming. I mean, look how much Twitch streamers and,
Yeah.
so to me, that's creative. Going from, man, I really like this game to like, huh, I'm not bad. Maybe people will like watching me. And then, that's to me, that's another form of art in
Oh
many
yeah,
ways.
for sure.
So,
Riley is also a gamer, right? Loves
mhm.
playing games. And now he's into creating his own games
Oh, wow.
and,
That's awesome.
writing his own stories and creating characters and all of that stuff. So it sparks creativity in him.
Big time.
I know.
That's
It's
huge.
it's insane some of the ideas this
Wow.
kids have. Do you think all hobbies have to be creative though?
No,
I don't think so either.
I mean, and I think it depends on where you go with that hobby. I mean, the first thing I think about is my dad, our dad.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, the
Yes.
little comics he used to make, and it was for no one.
It was just for
Like
him.
it was just for him, and it
Yeah.
was for like the buddies at work, and
Yeah.
they'd laugh about it or whatever. But like, fuck, man, like
It
dad
was
could
good.
have, if he had even just an ounce of entrepreneurship, man, he could have taken. I think he could have went far with that.
You kill
I
me. Everything goes back to entrepreneurship for you.
No, but it's true. I think you could. I think he could have like literally made art for tattoo artists. I think he could have made a lot of things. With how artistic he was.
Yeah.
I did not get that fucking skill.
No.
Fuck no, man.
But
I make stick men. That's as far as I go.
yeah, but we kind of discussed a little bit like you don't necessarily need the skill, but the more that you do it,
Yeah, it doesn't
the
interest me
skill
though.
build. Okay, but that's the thing, right? So
Yeah,
therein lies
yeah.
the problem or
You know.
difference, whatever.
But like that is something that was creative
Yeah.
and a big hobby in some ways of his. But again, it's just that to the point of what you were saying, it's like some people, it's like I'm fine with just doing that and
Yeah.
then that's it, that's all. Like I don't want to turn it into a business.
Right.
How many people, or at least I hear that often, because again, always in the entrepreneurship mindset there, but someone will make like crazy good cookies or something, I'll be like, holy shit, I'm like, you should fucking open up a goddamn bakery or something, and it's like, but then it won't be fun. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Yep.
So it's that, and I guess you could look at that in any aspect. You could be doing your art and you love it, and then you turn it into a business, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I have to do it now. So there's a difference from having to and wanting to. Same
Yeah.
thing with streamers. Streamers have to go on and fucking stream.
Well, if they want it to be successful and do something.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's tons of streamers or
Who are
people that
like
post.
hobbyists
Yes.
in a sense, where it's
Yes.
like I go on once a month and I stream.
Yeah.
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 Of course.
Yeah. One person's following them, but yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Just like us.
Yeah.
Just like us. We have one follower, I think, right?
No, I think we're at 3 now.
Oh shit.
I know.
Okay, guys, did you hear that? 3 followers. Please spread the word. Let
Do all the hobbies need to be creative? I'm trying to actually think of a hobby that's not necessarily creative. Like reading a book is considered a hobby, but you can't really be creative with that, could you? Not really. It's
I
reading a
don't
book.
know. Couldn't we argue that reading a book or sorry, the hobby is reading? Couldn't we say that the mind must be creative? Like the person's mind must be creative. But like I feel like people who read, I find them so fucking intelligent. And like those art people who do like the crazy, like, the big, and it's like all just like blobs of paint everywhere. It's just like, wow, like, they're so smart, they're so intelligent,
Well,
So
they're
I don't-
tapping into a part of their brain.
That's it, the
specific
creative,
part of their
that's
brain.
it,
Yeah.
right? So like these people that read books, I don't know, man. I don't know if we could just count them out, because I feel like a lot of these people who especially read a lot, like it's their hobby, fuck, man, are they ever intelligent? Like I find that their brain is just like something else. So I don't know. I feel like that's considered creativity.
So what you're saying then, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that essentially it's the person in the person that's doing the hobby as opposed to just the hobby.
Right.
So like the brain of the person doing the hobby, whether they're tapped into their creativity or their whatever,
Yeah,
then therefore makes the hobby creative or not creative.
exactly.
Okay, seriously. Okay, skill building. Learning a new skill versus enjoying the process.
Well, you could do both,
Yeah.
right?
Is the goal of a hobby to get better at it?
No, right?
No, I don't think so. I think the goal of the hobby is to
Love it.
love it, but also it has to respond to whatever it is that you are seeking
Yeah.
in a
That
way.
feeling,
Yeah.
that
That feeling of finishing something, that feeling of comfort, the feeling of
yeah. I
there's
feel like
plenty of feelings.
I feel like that can get mixed up though.
What do you mean?
I feel like that can get mixed up with escape. And escape could be good, but escape can also be very bad.
Yeah. Give me an example.
My hobby, the games, you know,
Oh,
I will go to another universe in my head, and it's because I'm trying to escape reality. And so, there's, I think, a fine line between this is a hobby and this is something you love versus like
I'm just trying to escape my reality.
just trying to escape reality where it's like you almost are consumed by it. And I think, some hobbies, people are consumed by them, and for sure, especially in my younger years, that was definitely me, and so
Yeah, I remember
you
that.
kind of mix hobby and, or at least you could be mixing, you know.
Okay, like what if you suck at your hobby? Should you stick to it?
Again, I think if you love it, you're going to stick to it,
Yeah.
you know?
How hobbies can bring people together. So, there's the social connection. Have you
Social
made
connection,
friends through a hobby? There you go.
for sure.
Online friends, right? I remember when we were younger, you were really, really, really into what was it, Ultima Online
Oh my God, yeah,
at the time?
yeah,
And it was like you were always in your room.
yeah. I got so freaking good at that game. So yeah, yeah. And now, like, my gaming experience is really just like, half an hour, 45 minutes of Call of Duty on PS5.
Yeah.
And now and it actually has nothing to do with social interaction anymore because I don't talk to anyone. I just go on, I shoot people, and then, I go on with my day.
Yeah.
Now I'm really hyper focused on all the other things in life. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think that your hobbies or the way or the amount of the way that you have hobbies, the amount of time you put into your hobbies has changed since kids?
For sure.
Of course, right? I think that's kind of inevitable.
For sure. But also, I feel like the hobby slash addiction has changed altogether because I stopped.
Because you have different priorities
Different
or do you
priorities,
okay.
but like an addiction is an addiction, right? Like
Yeah.
like you can have kids and still be addicted to fucking coke.
Well,
And
yeah.
you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
so like the addiction is still there if I allow it to take over, right? Like if I do
It
the
could be
drug.
very easy to like get back into that kind of a thing.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I don't because I've always said that I have a very addictive personality. I've always said that. So, I play my little Call of Duty. I've somehow managed to, what's the word? Control PS5. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like I have control. PC, online, community, like, That's where
That's your spot.
I get trapped. I think it's something to do with my shitty life in my mind at the time and how it made me just feel incredible being.
Escapism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that that's a very dangerous place to be. I like it's something that I think about Jet often, you know, because Jet can be misunderstood and he has a hobby like me, which is the games, and he's really good at them. So again, him kind of going into that place. No, but we might have to have a few conversations when he starts getting into computers,
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't want to, not allow him to do those things. I just want him to kind of, because I didn't know those things. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was taking me away, you know? You only know that now because of, well, self-help and realizing what that actually did. And you start noticing that everything has a connection
Right.
to why. Versus when you're young, you're just like, yeah, I love it. Like it's just something I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that
I can understand that though, like that form of escapism and how it can be very addicting. Like I loved reading books. I was always reading books as a kid. And it was like I was in the book. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And I was living with these characters and living these stories with like one could say, "Oh, you have imagination" or whatever. And yeah, I'm sure that's part of it too. But there's like a very fine line sometimes, between wanting to like between enjoying a book or enjoying an activity or whatever it is,
yeah.
and having it like consume and almost become in a way like your reality. It's really, yeah. Not every hobby can do that. I don't know if knitting could do something like that, but yeah, there's like little tricky spots, I think.
Yeah.
So, mental health benefits and how like the role that hobbies play in like relaxation and mindfulness, and has a hobby ever helped you through a tough time, or can having too many hobbies become overwhelming?
I think that it just coincides with what I just said about escape.
Yeah.
I think that yeah,
But it's not helping you through a tough time. It's just
you're coping,
you're
but
forgetting. Oh,
theoretically
okay.
that's
Yeah.
helping,
Yeah, you're
right?
coping. You're using it as a coping mechanism maybe?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and not saying that that's healthy, but just to say that like I guess it can technically go both ways,
Yeah.
in that sense. And that's the difference. It's about figuring out that good zone, right?
Yeah.
What about you when you are doing your art? What do you feel?
It makes me feel relaxed. It taps in to a little bit of like that creative side of my brain, which for myself in particular, I feel like I haven't really dabbled in for a while, and it's nice to kind of, I feel almost like a freshness. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because I just got, even though they hurt as hell, but like I just got into massages
okay.
and because of all the working out and everything and that freshness that you're talking about. I'm just kind of comparing it because in the sense of like not that it's a hobby, but
No,
just in
no,
the
I
sense of
understand.
like
Yeah.
how you feel when you get out of a massage or how you feel when you're using a stress ball or how you feel like, like, oh, okay, I played my game. Like I feel good. Like I feel
Yeah.
recharged.
It's all little
So
tools almost to kind of like replenish you, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying the art is doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving you this freshness.
Yeah. And no matter what I'm doing in that creative headspace. So like I'm saying right now art because that's one of my favorite things. But I've also done, some little diamond painting kits, or I've dabbled in writing again, like creative writing, short stories or poems, which I was like, it takes me back to a time when I was younger because I did all of those things when I was younger. So it makes me feel like, okay, I haven't lost all of these parts of myself that have kind of been dormant for a while, which makes that in and of itself makes me feel that spark. Hobby hot takes. Um, should hobbies stay hobbies or is it cool to turn them into jobs? Yes or no?
I think it's cool to turn them into jobs.
Okay, I knew you would say that, Mr. Entrepreneur over there. I'm I'm gonna say in the middle. Yes, no.
You just said yes or no. You looked at me and you said yes or no. So you said I couldn't do the middle.
Okay, fine. So I'm gonna say hobbies should stay hobbies.
Okay.
Fine.
Why do you think they should stay hobbies? Because of the enjoyment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just have some things that are just purely for enjoyment. Going back to your point.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, but going back to your point about how your brain works and how, okay, you're doing these Dragon Ball Z cards and how you can't help but think about all of these things, right? That in of itself is, there's nothing wrong with that. Have you done it? You're not going to act on every single thing. A thought is a thought, right? You're not going to act on every single hobby and make it a job.
I mean,
You might think about it, but that doesn't mean you're going to do it.
I typically do.
Oh, you're killing me. I'm trying to make a point here.
And I know my point is that like, so you see my brain
It just automatically goes there.
automatically goes there. And so now it's like, okay, I bought one freaking pack of Dragon Ball cards, and I got one pack of my son's One Piece cards that he wanted. And already I'm thinking like, I wonder how much these tournaments make. I don't even know how to play the fucking game yet. But I'm like, I wonder if like they make a lot of money, like so, and I'm there asking ChatGPT like what's the most expensive Dragon Ball card? What packs can I buy to but so
My gosh.
it's my brain.
That's your brain.
That's how it works.
Collecting. Harmless fun or just organized hoarding?
I don't know like how to describe that. I'm not good at organizing anything. So
So you're going to say harmless fun?
harmless fun.
Okay.
You? Are you a hoarder?
No, I'm not a hoarder, but I look at that kind of a thing, like collecting. Oh, you know what? I can't do that.
Like teacups or something?
I cannot do that because I collect some things. It's just coming to me now.
What do you collect?
Okay, you're gonna laugh at me, but you see those little Spider-Man like cases over there?
Yeah.
I used to collect the little beanies.
Okay.
Okay, and they're up there now collecting dust. Grayson, I live vicariously through Grayson, and we collect a little mini Squishmallow, or like the little
Oh,
Durables,
Fallon, man, with the squishables there.
right?
Squishmallows.
So we collect those.
Yeah.
So I guess because I would listen, my adult brain that was gonna say it's organized hoarding, but I can't do that now because now I'm calling myself a hoarder.
You are?
So I'm gonna say harmless fun. Okay, skill-based hobbies versus relaxing hobbies. Which are better for mental health? I don't think there's a difference. I think it depends on the person.
It 100% depends on the person because I know that I can play a game like Call of Duty
Yeah.
and that relaxes me. And I know
And that would do the
person-
opposite for me.
exactly the person next to me like, oh my God, that's so stressful.
Yeah.
Like I just want to play like my Jewel game
Yeah.
or whatever.
Tetris or something.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely different.
for sure.
per person.
Ooh, okay, this one. Expensive hobbies, worth the money or unnecessary?
Well, I mean, the card thing that I'm just getting into right now is a lot of fucking money. I mean, those cards are not cheap. So, I guess it all depends.
Yep, it depends on your means, first of all.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think it's necessary to have a hobby that is expensive.
Hmm.
But if you do have one, then all the more power to you. Good for you. Like,
Yeah.
and if you can afford it and you enjoy it, then who am I?
And I guess it's about perspective too, because I just thought of it. It's like, okay, I'm complaining that the packs of cards are too expensive, but a video game is $90, right? So, I mean, $90 can get you quite a bit of cards. So, I guess it's about perspective
Yeah.
at the end of the
And if
day.
you enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, how many games do I buy? I don't buy many. But then, now it's not even about buying the game. You buy the game, then it's the battle pass, it's the skins, it's all that
It's
other
true.
shit,
It's
that you
true.
want.
That's so annoying.
Well, it's annoying, but also it's something that, like, gamers just thrive off of. They love it. They love it, including me. So I guess when you look at it like that, card, I get a perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective.
See, okay, it's a little side note. Brawl Stars.
Hmm.
Riley loves it.
Yeah.
And actually, they're always trying to get me. My kids are always trying to get me to play these games, and I'm just like, I don't. Like, I don't. But this one I actually find quite interesting. It's fun. So I play with him sometimes, but I'm clearly like level 2. He's like level 400, like whatever. And they're always selling these like Brawl Star passes and like exclusive skins. And I'm just like, who gives a shit what t-shirt you're wearing in your character on the iPad? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but for him, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, is there a hobby trend that you just don't get?
I think if you asked me this 20 years ago, I would probably say, yeah, a lot of stuff. But nowadays, like, no, I actually love finding out what people are into,
I do too.
Like
You
your
never
your husband
know.
is into colognes, right?
Yes, he collects colognes and
See,
stuff.
if you would have asked me about that when I was like 20,
Yeah.
I'd be like
Well,
why would I collect colognes? But now I think it's so cool. Like
well,
to
when I
all
met him,
yeah.
I didn't understand it. I was just like, wow, that's interesting. But but now I actually appreciate it with him. Like, and he has such there's something like this has a scent of cigars and
Yeah.
oak wood, and you're like, okay, like,
Yeah.
wow, interesting. Like, he has
But
such a
now
knowledge and appreciation for it that you can't help but
that's it.
appreciate it as well. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
that I'm into now way more as I got
hobby,
older.
eh?
Remember Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Like movie buffs. We were all like pretty
Oh
much movie
yes,
buffs.
yes.
But I never had a collection like you guys had, of movies and stuff. And so that's another thing where back in the day, I would be like, well, I work at Blockbuster. Like, why am I gonna buy the movies and like have like 5,000 movies? Like, I'm just gonna like get the movie, play it, and then like bring it back.
Yeah.
Versus now, it's kind of cool. Seeing like all the movies, and it's like, oh shit, like it brings back memories and this and that. You know what I mean?
And
So
this is like a fraction of
yeah,
the
yeah.
stuff that we
This
have.
doesn't
Like,
this
this
doesn't
doesn't even,
even count.
yeah, doesn't even count.
But to that question, I think it's also about age, and I think there's a lot of factors that go into
I
that.
agree. And I think too that as I've gotten older, I've gotten less judgmental about other people's, like,
Oh,
things
100%.
that
Me
I
too.
wouldn't have thought about. And
Me
I'm like,
too.
oh my gosh. And I'll say, like, wow, I never would have thought that that's a hobby, but not as a judgment, more of a, that's really cool. And I want to see, like, what that's about kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, does that work for me? Would I like something like that? Yeah.
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 I think I've become way less judgmental in those
Yes.
scenarios as well.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
like, I mean, just even, what was it, the last episode or whatever, when we were like talking about our perception of older people, like getting older and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
and like gardening,
Yeah.
like when we're like gardening was such a like, oh, but like, what
Yeah.
a delightful hobby gardening is. And so to wrap things up a little bit, Josh, is there perhaps a hobby that you would like to try next? Something that you haven't tried before that's of interest to you?
I actually think I would like to get into some colognes.
Yeah?
Mm,
Okay, cool. Well,
yeah.
you'll have to talk to James,
Yeah.
get some insight there. I'd like to do something, a more of a physical activity as a
Oh,
hobby.
okay.
Like maybe uh, yoga.
It's so crazy you say that because I have been looking into doing yoga.
Yeah?
Yeah, because apparently for the stretching and which I'm in like so much pain in general just from like trying to do this bodybuilding thing. I've been actually really considering yoga. I guess I didn't look at it like a hobby.
All right. Well, that's it for today. If you like this, hit like and subscribe. New episodes drop every Thursday.
Drop your hot take in the comments. We want to hear it. See you next time on Brother, Sister, whatever.
Bye.
Ciao.